Now, just a couple of days ago, it was announced the WNBA Players Union had voted to authorize a strike against the NBA owners. I just say NBA owners because every team is owned by an NBA owner except for two. All right? And they're trying to get one of those to an NBA owner, which is the Houston Rockets owner. And they announced that they brave, stunning, and courageously would authorize a strike.
A strike against the league has just been approved by the WNBA Players Association, and the response from sports fans was complete incredulity. This is what sets this labor conflict apart from all the others you have witnessed. In its 27-year existence, the WNBA has never made a profit. NBA teams, who have been funding losses for almost 30 years, own all but two of the teams. The union recently threatened to back out of a contract that would raise maximum salaries from $250,000 to almost $2 million, just as the league is finally getting momentum due to the influence of one player. That represents an increase of 800%, and they're refusing.
Tuesday morning, because David Sampson, who's a really, really freaking smart sports business guy, came out and said, the NBA is going to draw the line on revenue sharing. And they will draw the line to the point of shutting the WNBA's doors down. They are not going to give the revenue sharing that the WNBA players want. And the women will compromise. and so I had a theory when I made that video that they did this to publicly save face before they...
David Sampson is aware of owners' perspectives. He used to be the Miami Marlins president, and when it comes to labor talks, he doesn't hold back. It is not conjecture when he states that the NBA will set a revenue-sharing threshold and shut down the WNBA before it is crossed. That person has sat in those rooms and told you exactly what is going to happen. Like NBA players, the players desire a 50-50 income-sharing arrangement. Significant compensation hikes are being offered by the owners, but they won't split the profits from a league that consistently loses money. Financial reality is being used by one side. On principle, the other is functioning. Furthermore, when your league collapses, principals don't pay mortgages.
Call it $250. So you mean to tell me y'all are not going to sign a deal where you get, let's call it a 7.5 to 8 times raise? You're not signing a deal with a 7 times salary increase. Let's just call it 7 times. Are you absurd? I mean, that's a great way for these players to lose the support of fans. By the way, they're losing the support of fans. Because the biggest complaint all these years is they didn't get paid.
To examine such responses on social media. These are not haters or trolls. The players are being referred to as clowns by those who have been watching the WNBA, who have been encouraging its expansion, and who genuinely care about the product. They claim that the leadership is embarrassing. They are pointing out that if the WNBA fails, players who have ownership interests in other leagues might actually profit. That is not a sign of contempt or misogyny. This comes from supporters who have watched this league struggle for 27 years before witnessing it finally gather momentum in 2024. Now, they are witnessing the players threaten to ruin all of that momentum over a demand for revenue sharing that makes no sense from a commercial standpoint. October 20th is the expiration date of the current CBA. The owners' latest by the end of the agreement, the salary cap will have increased from $1.46 million per team to more than $3 million. The highest income for an individual would go from $249,000 to $1,900,000. The minimum wage would more than double. In response, the players' union authorized a strike because they wanted a portion of the non-existent earnings.
This is not going to end well. The entire leadership is made up of players who have ownership stakes in other leagues. And it's beneficial for them to kill the WNBA. When are the rest of the players going to boot them out of their roles? Embarrassing as F. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. How that could be happening. I will stop watching the WNBA cold turkey like how I left my first wife. Don't mess this up. They definitely have the wrong players representing the players. And I don't understand why none of that's... There's things that go on in this league that would never, ever, a million times...
This is what fans know that the Players Association appears to overlook. Revenue share losses are not possible. The NBA's 50-50 split is effective because the league makes enormous revenues and brings in $11 billion a year. Half of something significant is given to the players. Depending on your estimation, the WNBA loses between $10 and $40 million annually and makes about $200 million. Since 1997, the NBA owners have paid for the losses out of their own pockets. Therefore, it is neither daring nor spectacular for players to demand the same revenue-sharing arrangement as a league that is 40 times larger and genuinely profitable. The timing couldn't be worse, and it lacks financial literacy. In 2024, a Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign was nearly solely responsible for the record attendance and viewership. The Indiana Fever went from drawing 4,000 spectators each game on average to selling out venues. For the games she participated in, national TV ratings soared. Sales of merchandise surged. There was real mainstream momentum for the first time in the league's history. Corporate sponsors were keeping an eye on things. Discussions about expansion were serious. And the Players Association chooses to threaten a work stoppage at this point of greatest power and opportunity.
Crazy. Yawn, the small interest I have to watch will be gone if they strike. Would anyone notice? A lot of people, they are getting clowned. They are actually getting clowned. They have a professional women's basketball league. When did that begin? The fan base is still not invested enough to sustain the league if they strike. No. I mean, it's crazy. The WNBA has never turned a profit for 30 years, meaning the NBA and more so the...
It's not just trolling to compare yourself to the 5 feet 8 inches YouTuber. That alludes to an actual incident that gained widespread attention. The disparity is hard to see when casual fans witness a WNBA All-Star battle an amateur content creator and then witness the same players demanding NBA-level money. Whether it's fair or not, the league is engaged in a perception war. Furthermore, approving a strike does not aid in winning that conflict. It perpetuates the unfavorable perception that the league is entitled rather than earning its way to financial security. Neka Agwa Mike, the organization's leader, has been outspoken on pay parity. But what really is equality? The NBA makes $45 each viewer. The WNBA makes roughly $3 for each watch. 482 games a season, NBA players pack 20,000 seats at premium ticket prices. 440 games, WNBA players pack smaller venues at reduced costs. The underlying principles of economics are entirely different. Demanding the same income-sharing arrangements completely contradicts such principles.
Look, it's kind of weird. We all just got a trial run on what it was like to not be able to see Caitlin Clark on the court. It sucked. It sucked, but these players haven't done enough as of yet. They haven't. I mean, it's crazy. They just saved the owners money. Go ahead and strike and do a clean out. Play with your rookie contracts and ask anyone overseas if they want to play and anyone else who wants to play. Just clean house. You know.
The nuclear option is as follows. Replacement players are not being discussed. The rookies have contracts. They are unable to attack. Caitlin Clark, Angel Ree, Cameron Brink upon her comeback from her ACL injury, and all other players on rookie contracts would remain active. Then, for six-figure salaries, the owners might sign foreign players from European leagues who are eager to play in America. There are several skilled players in the EuroLeague that earn between $30,000 and $60,000 a season abroad. Do you believe a WNBA strike would be honored? In 48 hours, they would be on aircraft. It's possible that the Players Association is wagering that the NBA owners won't allow the league to collapse due to political pressure and optics. That is risky. Wager. These entrepreneurs have created billion-dollar empires by making difficult financial choices. They have experienced lockouts in the past. In order to maximize profits, they have switched teams, fired coaches, and traded superstars. The notion that they will give in to pressure and decide to split profits from a losing business because it is morally right is not how this operates.
Yikes. Man, so tired of the women fatigue. It's crazy. It is crazy. This is an opportunity for the owners and stakeholders of the WNBA to reboot the league. You will get tons of international fans. Will anyone actually notice or care? Seriously, if the league folds, would anybody really miss it? And I can tell you, as soon as I drop one of these videos, I get a ton of these comments.
Take a look at the remark regarding women's weariness. That doesn't come from a person who despises women's sports. That comes from someone who is sick of hearing about how unjust everything is all the time. There is discrimination in everything. It's all someone else's fault. Every advantage has been granted to the WNBA. NBA owners have been financing losses for many years. Shared practice spaces and arenas. Even with priority scheduling to prevent competing with men's sports and cross-promotion during NBA broadcasts, it remains unprofitable. The topic of discussion must eventually change from what the league deserves to what it has earned. The athletes wish to highlight increased viewership and attendance evidence that they are deserving of more. Okay, but after 26 years of losses, a single successful season won't make the debt go away. The company concept does not become profitable overnight. It indicates that you are at last heading in the correct direction. And perhaps, just possibly, you should accept the huge raise that is being given, demonstrate that you can maintain the growth, and then engage in negotiations in the upcoming CBA cycle from a position of true strength.
They're playing with fire. All right? They're playing with fire. A lot of people was supporting them for the most part on getting the salary. It's the revenue sharing where people are like...
The harsh remark is really telling. The existing structure of the league was referred to as draconian by the Players Association. They selected that word. Draconian to characterize a league where players receive full benefits. Owners have suffered tens of millions in losses every year, and the league has been sustained by 27 years of subsidies. Recently, charter flights were authorized, and although there is no way to turn a profit, salaries have been rising significantly. Draconian. The union leadership's disconnection from the financial reality of their circumstances is evident in that word choice. This is the genuine appearance of draconian. As with the ABL's collapse in 1998, the league falls, everyone loses their jobs, and women's professional basketball in America vanishes for 10 more years. That is harsh. Receiving an 800% raise while participating in a losing league. That's known as whining that the check isn't large enough after winning the lotto. According to David Sampson, women will make concessions. Most likely, he is correct. This strike permission is probably a negotiation strategy, a public face-saving measure before agreeing to anything that is similar to the owner's existing offer. The Players Association is aware of their lack of power. They are aware of the harsh public response. They are aware that it is absurd to threaten to attack, just as the league is starting to get momentum. They will therefore approve the strike, raise awareness of their solidarity and fight for their rights, and then enter into an agreement that grants them significant pay rises without the revenue sharing their outburst. However, this is the harm that has already been done. At the worst conceivable moment, they have lost the backing of their fans. The remarks that we previously examined are not anomalies. That's the prevailing opinion on social media. Those who were thrilled about the WNBA's expansion are now claiming that they won't give a damn if the league disappears. Those who had intended to get tickets for the upcoming season are changing their minds. Corporate sponsors who are showing interest are likely reconsidering their decision to support a league whose players appear committed to self-destruction. And for what purpose? To wage a primary war that disregards economic reality in order to make a point about equality. Everything was going well for the athletes. High viewership, widespread interest, owners prepared to significantly raise pay, ambitions for growth, and negotiations with new media partnerships. All they needed to do was seize the victory, maintain their momentum, and position themselves for a better bargain in 5 years, when the league might actually turn a profit. Rather, they have decided to draw a line in the sand on revenue sharing in a league that is losing money. Just as casual fans were finally paying attention, they decided to threaten a strike. Because the math just doesn't work, they have decided to sacrifice everything they've achieved over the past year for a demand that has no possibility of being met. Consider Caitlin.